guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Aroca and I am so pumped up to be here with you guys today. So today we're going to go through another chapter of my book, Live the Life You've Always Imagined. And like I said before, you can find it on Amazon if you want to pick up a copy. And it's a great read, awesome for teenagers, awesome. Really, it's a great book for anyone who is trying to live the life that they've always imagined. If you've imagined living a certain way, a certain type of life, but you're not there, this book will help you live the principles necessary to help you live that type of life that you've always imagined. Okay? So I will leave the link in the description. You know what to do from there. Okay, so today I thought we'd go to chapter 6. And chapter 6 is about finding joy. That's right. You got to actually find it. It doesn't just happen. You got to find it. You got to go identify it. You got to go seek after it. So the quote that I have for you on this fine chapter says, joy is the kind of happiness that doesn't depend on what happens. Joy is the type of happiness that doesn't depend on what happens. Author unknown. Actually, it's from the good quote. Think about that. I've thought about the difference between joy and happiness quite a bit, and I've come to this determination. Joy lasts for a long time. I won't say it lasts forever, but man, the things that bring joy to my life last a long, long time. Happiness is always fleeting. As soon as I have it, it's going away. I don't know why that is. But as soon as I have happiness in my life, it's going away. I remember when I was a young kid, I went to a lot of concerts when I was young. And I can remember being at a concert and instead of enjoying the moment and just having fun, I was always thinking, man, I wonder if this band is going to come back next year. When are they going to come back? I wasn't even focused on the show. I was more focused on future events. Are they coming back? Are they going to release a new album? See what I mean? Happiness is always fleeting. So the things that bring me joy last a long time. As an example, when I think of my kids, when I think of my family, when I think of my wife, that brings me joy. It stays with me. It fills my heart. It just stays with me for a long, long time. Okay? So I hope that helps kind of define the differences between joy and happiness for you. 1932, Lamar and Delilah Hort, my wife's grandparents, had moved to California. This is during the Depression, folks, 1932. They didn't have a plush house. They didn't have 4,000 square feet. They didn't have 7 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. I want to show you a picture of where they lived. They lived, you see that? In an abandoned boxcar. You heard me correctly. That is an abandoned boxcar. That's where they lived. Now, I don't remember exactly how many years they lived there. Or actually, I do remember, but if you want to know, you got to buy the book. So, it's a great story, though, of how they got there and why they did that. So, how do you find joy when you're living in an abandoned boxcar? Could you? Do you think that you're capable of finding joy if those were your living circumstances? Oh, well, Delilah is Delilah, right? She was an amazing woman. And she found a way to find joy, even while living in an abandoned boxcar. You can't see it very well here, but this little mound of dirt right here, okay, that is where she grew her flowers. And they weren't not where she grew her flowers. That's where the wildflowers bloomed, throughout the time that they lived there. Delilah found the time to go out there and nourish those flowers. She found the time to go out there and smell the flowers, the wildflowers. Do you see how that is finding joy in a tough situation? So think about Think about the hard situations in your life. Think about the things that are maybe keeping you down, or the things that aren't great in your life. Maybe you have a job that you're just not happy about. Maybe you don't like where you live, Utah. Whatever the situation is, can you find joy? Can you find opportunities to have joy in your life, regardless of what's happening to you or around you? I believe that you can. Delilah found a way to find joy in a difficult circumstance. I can't imagine living in an abandoned boxcar. I don't think that I could do that. But they did. So, that's all you've got to do, folks. Find joy. Sometimes we get so caught up in our own lives. We get so caught up in our problems and situations that we find ourselves in that we just fail to look for joy. But I guarantee you that if you will strive to look for joy in your life, I promise you that you will live a happier life. You will live a life full of joy. Identify the things that bring you joy. Not happiness, but joy. Like I said before, whenever I think about my kids, they bring me joy. My grandkids bring me joy. When I think about my job, when I think about making these videos, and trust me, folks, this is not easy to do. I mean, it might be easy for some people. It's not that easy for me, but it brings me joy. Why? Because I feel like I am sharing myself with you. I'm sharing difficult circumstances with you, but I can find joy in that. And it is very joyful to me to do these videos every week and to share with you guys a little bit about myself. So find joy. You can find it in the most dire circumstances. You can find joy. My grandpa Vera, passed this past week, Friday morning. And, I could even find joy in that. As weird as that is to say. And that's because he was a great man. I really didn't have time, and I really haven't found myself mourning my grandfather, but I have found myself celebrating his life and being so thankful and so overcome with joy that he was a part of my life. Man, I'm going to get emotional. But that he was such a big part of my life. He is just an amazing guy. He, just to share a little bit about him and why he brings me so much joy. He was just a funny guy. He always had a smile on his face. He was just, when he walked into the room, he was the joy of the party, right? Not the life of the party. He was the joy of the party. Everybody loved talking to him. Everybody loved sharing with him. But I remember I was probably about 5, maybe 6 years old. And I don't have a lot of memories of my childhood, but this one always stands out. I was sitting at dinner next to him as we were over at his house, and he was eating spaghetti. We were eating spaghetti. I mean, I don't even remember what we were eating. We were eating spaghetti, and he was eating jalapenos, just like, raw jalapenos, just chawing on these jalapenos. And I kept looking at him like, man, right? That's so cool. I for some reason I was fascinated by that. So I tugged on his shirt and I said, Grandpa, can I have one of those? Without hesitation, the man just looks at me and he's like, here you go. Take a bite. Now, my grandma flipped her lid, okay? She started yelling at him, how can you give a young child a jalapeno, blah, 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 whatever. He just kind of, ignored it. And this is one of the reasons why he is so awesome. He was going to give me a jalapeno come hell or high water. And he did. He handed me a jalapeno and said, here you go. Take a bite. He didn't say take a tiny bite. He just said take a bite. So I did. I took a bite. I don't know what I was expecting. Spiciness, maybe? But I don't think I had a really good understanding of what spiciness was. So I take a bite out of this jalapeno and it just burned my mouth. And I was chugging water and trying to get over it. He's laughing. He's having a good time with it. I've been hooked on jalapenos ever since. I cannot stop eating them. I love spicy food. The spicier, the better. Finding joy. Can you find joy in your life? See, when I think about my grandpa, I'm not sad that he's gone. Actually, I have such great memories that they overcompensate for any sadness that I feel. They just take over, and I'm just too busy celebrating his life and celebrating what a great man he was. I want you to take some time this week. Here's my challenge for you for this week. I want you to identify 3 things that bring joy to your life. Doesn't matter what they are. I'm not going to tell you what brings joy and what doesn't. You have to identify 3 things that will bring joy to your life. Okay? So once you've done that, then you're going to figure out how you can go and share your joy with other people. So how do I do that? I do that by doing weekly videos. I love sharing with you guys every single week because it brings joy to me, and I hope that it brings a little bit of joy to you. So share your joy with other people, because if you do, then they become and live a life more filled with joy. And it is just a ripple effect. If you do it and you share it and they do it, and then it goes on and on and on, and it just builds on itself, pretty soon you're surrounded with people who have more joy in their life. That is all we have time for today. So you know what to do. All that good stuff, right? Share, like, comment, all that good stuff. Help me grow the channel. I would really appreciate it if you could help me grow the channel. So hit that notification bell, and we will see you guys next week. Take care.